never thought that I would have to make. The fact that what happened in America recently, because of 4 cops doing nothing to save one person's life, has what's prompted a white guy from the UK to make this video. As you can see on screen right now, Black Lives Matter. And from the fallout of that, there has been looting. There's also been protests held here in the UK as well, but more peaceful protests. Now, the systematic racism that goes on all over the world is ridiculous. It is time that we, as a people, stood up to those in power. It is time that we fought back. It is time that we fight back. It is time that we take control. And the way that we do that is at the voting booth, is at local elections. Vote for the people you think are going to make a difference. Don't vote for the ones who are only in it to get rich. Don't vote for the ones who are only there to line their own pockets. Why is it that when it comes to each successive government, it doesn't matter whether it's in America, whether it's in the UK, whether it's throughout Europe or throughout the world, they promise that they're going to put money into the healthcare system. They promise they're going to put money into education. They promise that they're going to make the people at the bottom of the ladder better off. But yet the only people who seem to benefit are those at the top. The little guy at the bottom always seems to get shat on. Well, do you know what? I've had enough. And it's about time that everyone else states that they've had enough as well. Every life matters. Doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Chinese, European. Doesn't matter whether you're fucking purple. Your life matters. Doesn't matter whether you're straight, gay, trans, anything. Your life matters. You're still a person. You're not a fucking label. You're not a colour. You're not a creed. You're not a sect. Your life fucking matters. And like I said, I'm so sick and tired of our governments doing what they do every single fucking term that they're elected. Government bigwig comes in. Whilst on the campaign trail they say they're going to make all of these changes, and they do fuck all. The UK couldn't change shit. We're in 7.3 trillion, yeah that's right, trillion pounds of debt. That's a deficit that we can never recover. And that's because banks decided to give people with no jobs or low income credit cards. Those people then bought houses which they mortgaged from the bank. So that was bad credit on top of bad credit. And that snowballed out of control. That's why we're in 7.3 trillion pounds worth of debt. That's a UK debt deficit. America's much worse, and so is the rest of Europe. But it's time for us as a people to stand shoulder to shoulder. It's time for us as a people to stand up against those in power. And it's time for us as a people to take control of our countries, of our cities, of our streets. It's time for us as a people, as a world, to hold those in authority responsible for their mistakes. Don't let people in authority push you around anymore. Demilitarise the police all over the world. Demilitarise the police when they're standing there with a tear gas launcher, when they're standing there in full body armour. and they're firing it into crowds of innocent civilians who are having peaceful protests. Make them responsible. If you're on the streets of the UK and you see an armed officer standing with a handgun, a taser, and an MP5 submachine gun, question it. Go to your local MP, hit up their email, hit up the landlines. Start to take your streets back. This is what we have to do. We have to rise against the government who are in power just now. We have an absolute fucking joke of a Prime Minister known as Boris Johnson, or as I like to call him, Boris the total fuckwit. This guy is so inbred that he doesn't know his arse from his fucking elbow. And then you look at the cartoon president that they have in America, known as Donald Trump. Everything that has to be said about Trump's already been said. You know, the fact that the guy's a racist, neo-Nazi, right-wing fucking nutjob. Yeah. Donald Trump was the guy who said, if you loot, we shoot. I'm sorry, but the trigger for all of this was an innocent man being killed by cops on the streets, whilst the body cameras are on, whilst there's CCTV, and whilst there's people with cell phones filming it. Yeah, black lives do matter. So do all lives. And one thing I want to say to any neo-Nazi fuckwit out there, to any racist out there, to anyone who has any questions or who wants to leave a comment on this video, look back far enough. We're all black. We all came from Africa. That is why it is called the motherland. That is where the human race started. That is where we came out of the primordial ooze, where we developed. That is the centre of the fucking earth. That is where people came from. So yeah, I may be white. My blood type's O positive. That's the most common blood type on the face of this planet. And it's also the most common blood type in Africa and amongst black people on the face of this planet. So anyone out there who's O positive, yeah, you came from Africa. So did everyone else thousands of years ago. So just remember that we are all black. Think about it, people. Think about it and let it sink in. Peace.